start.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to GT Time. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us, as always, is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones,
Hello.
Daniel Bloodworth,
Hey.
and Michael Damiani.
Hi, Kyle.
If you've noticed, I'm rushing this a little bit. We have 30 minutes until we get kicked out of this room, so we're going to have a little abbreviated
I've been in
episode.
this room for like 2 hours, man.
Yeah, it's a good thing to, it's one thing to look forward to of the new place is, we won't get kicked out of rooms anymore. That's a nice thing to
You
be
don't
looking-
know that.
You're right. Also, big news this week, Brandon Jones is not just regular old Brandon Jones. He is Brandon Jones, editor-in-chief of Game Trailers.
Brandon is being rebranded.
All right. How would you like to brand yourself?
Well, yeah, editor-in-chief is not something I ever strive to be. I was happy being creative director. I like having the word creative in my title.
Yeah, me too.
But making the move over, we got to have somebody's got to be in charge. Can't be you, Kyle. So
Yeah. I lost my creative as well. I got, demoted in this new move.
we're bringing everything over to
Well,
Defy
yeah,
except
I
the
mean,
creativeness.
yeah, the titles don't exactly line up. So, whatever. Well,
Yeah. My responsibilities didn't change. My title just did.
Before we move, I just want to say I feel better having an editor-in-chief, especially Brandon Jones as editor-in-chief. We had no editor-in-chief for a long time.
By title,
We were without one. Yeah, that was weird. But
Thanks,
now we
Kyle.
got one. Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Feel good. Okay, so anyway, let's move on to our big news.
What's up?
Damiani knows exactly what today's first story is because when I saw this news story, I said, Damiani is making this up. Somehow, Damiani started a rumor and people believed him.
Dude, the teaser doesn't even have anything but stuff from the TV show.
Right,
Yeah,
which
it
is
could
why
s-
I'm a little scared.
It could still be a prank by Damiani. Here's what happened this week. Platinum Games has announced they're developing a Legend of Korra video game coming out this fall.
From Activision. That's the first thing you see is Activision.
Published by Activision. Yeah. Is this real? Damiani, is this real?
So, I leaked this information to a Russian informant who then talked with IGN, and you saw the story debut on IGN UK. So, just wanted to make sure that's how things worked.
Is there good reason to be excited about? Could it be good? Basically, is my question.
So, I saw screenshots, just 4 screenshots. Some people were whining about how it looked. It looked kind of close to the cell shading style of Naruto, the Ultimate Ninja Sword games.
By CyberConnect?
Yes, a little close to that. They looked like they were going for that, but there's nothing out there that's showing it in motion. They keep talking about there's a arena 3-on-3 thing. I don't know if that's multiplayer or if that's the structure, but the gameplay shot, one of the screenshots clearly shows her riding Naga through Republic City, which that's not an arena. That's an open world. So it sounds
Naga,
like.
to people who don't watch the show, is a cross between a polar bear and a golden
dog.
retriever.
Did you have
Okay.
to look this up, Kyle? You have to do some research.
I just want everyone to be on the same page with how cool Naga is.
I felt like the reaction to this was a lot of people were like, "Man, I got to go watch Korra now because Platinum Games is awesome, and if they're making a game, I got to know what the heck this is about."
And just to fill in for everybody, I love Avatar. I haven't seen season 2 yet of Legend of Korra, but the first 3 seasons of Avatar were amazing.
Yes.
And just to kind of sum up why a game of just this world would be really exciting. To be an Avatar means you are in control of earth, fire, wind, and water.
Sure.
And those are all 4 totally completely different powers. So if earth, I can make the mountain crush you. Wind, I can pick you up and throw you. Fire, I can obviously burn stuff. And so to
And they
actually
just toss it around too.
it's kind of like Batman. It's like before Arkham Asylum came out, no one really knew how to do that. It's like, how do I make you actually do the stuff Batman does? And so to have a third-person action game where you can switch between those 4 elements at will, and then that totally changes all the moves that you do, sounds too good to be true. I'm scared.
And I mean, I guess there's only 2 reports out there, impressions. The PlayStation blog was talking about the PS4 version. So, someone, I think Jason Schreier of Kotaku tried to point out on NeoGAF that is the PlayStation blog going to make a PlayStation game look bad by any means? And then I think it was Destructoid had impressions, and they said it was actually pretty good from what they saw. And I trust Platinum. This is you told me
yeah.
this is so. This is a funny story.
This is good from
NeoGAF had a
Platinum.
thread that I saw the day before this announcement said, "What cartoon anime series do you want to see made into a game? Who do you want to develop it, and what would it be like?" And Korra / Avatar: The Last Airbender was one of the number 1 most requested ones, and a few of us put Platinum Games.
Yeah.
And then the next
Absolutely.
day it happens, and people are like, Wait, what? Anything's possible now in video games.
I'm honestly
Like, it's,
trying to
what's up?
think of like what the weakest Platinum Games title is, and I can't come up with an answer.
And if you didn't like Infinite Space was the one that was
the
still
DS game,
that was
correct?
still good, but I don't know if that was everyone's kind of like cup of tea for that one. I still thought it was a good game. And Bayonetta is amazing, but some people have a problem with like just the style of it. I mean, you can pick little parts of their games. I think it's the style. I would say if you don't like I'm saying like too many times. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Awesome game. Some people who were Metal Gear fans said, "What the hell did they just do to Metal Gear? This is ridiculous. This is not Metal Gear to me."
Yeah.
So taking an established property, some people might be a bit concerned. And like Brandon said, the original Avatar: The Last Airbender is amazing. Korra has been kind of up and down. I still like the show and I like the character. I think it still has a lot of potential. Ask anyone, they'll say the Avatar 1 mini arc within book 2 was amazing. And from there, it got like pretty much better for season 2. I think a lot of the complaints I'm seeing are just, I hope there's some of the old Avatar Last Airbender universe, thrown in there somehow, and I don't think that's happening.
Don't count
But this could pave the way. Like, if this does amazing. It's only a downloadable title. That's a key thing. It's not getting a retail release. That is the one small thing that has me worried, is that we have not seen any gameplay in action, and they said it's downloadable only.
And we don't know when it takes place. They're not being like,
Yeah,
oh, it's before.
no,
this.
they actually did. So
Oh,
it's
good.
taking place between book 2 and book 3 of Korra.
Okay.
those are
However,
called seasons.
she loses her powers again, so it sounds like it's a kind of a little bit of a bullshit video game
Of course.
mechanics going on in there. But it's supposed to explain how one of the key things is how like the bender movement, like the pro benders, the activists against bending. I'm forgetting the term right now. Sorry. They kind of vanished after book 1. They kind of went away. Didn't see any more of that. They're bringing that back, I guess.
Just because you need enemies to
Yeah,
hit,
because they're talking about like the anti-bender mech things that try and suppress like bending abilities and stuff. Korra apparently loses her powers, as I said, so you gotta like there's skill trees to level up. It's kind of like they were comparing it to Metal Gear Rising's the weapons you unlock, and then you could start buying new abilities for the combos. So it sounds like they have the right mechanics there. It's just seeing it in action.
Because that's the thing. We talk about all the other Platinum games. There's never been a stinker. And so, Blood, I'll phrase this question to you. Is this Activision having this license and saying, oh, we should make a good game? Or is this Platinum being desperate and say, oh, we need to have someone publish us? Is this Platinum being desperate or Activision being smart?
Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, Platinum is getting contracts. I don't feel like they're in a state where they would be desperate. I mean, they've got Nintendo backing them for, multiple games. They've got Xbox backing them for Scalebound. I don't know how much of those contracts is dependent on sales, because obviously, A Wonderful 101 didn't sell as well as everyone thought it should. But yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason to. I mean, it's not like they're not getting work.
But this is unprecedented. They've never done a licensed game for anyone. And
Metal Gear?
Well, I don't know if that counts. You know what I mean?
Are you talking about Platinum?
Yeah, Platinum's never made a game based off of some TV show before.
Right.
And that's crazy. That's crazy they're willing to do this.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I guess we have to see more of like what the game is like.
Yeah, there needs to be interviews with people. I'm going to suspect that it was the creators behind the show, Mike and Brian. They know their fan base very well. I'm sure they've seen people post, hey, where's a Korra game?
Yeah.
Hey, wouldn't, like, names thrown around have always been Platinum and CyberConnect 2. Have always been thrown around, like, make a Korra game. We even did that video, like, top 10 things, and I said, like, Avatar series, CyberConnect 2 fighting game, or Platinum. They know that. I think they were talking probably with Viacom, negotiating the deal, and they were like, who can we get to get this? Activision wants to publish it, and they're like, get Platinum. Like, we'll give you this our blessing for this game if you get Platinum.
That makes
like
me
our
excited.
fans want this. I have a feeling they had a heavy hand in making that happen, because I think after the movie was so terrible, I think they probably put a little bit more weight into their contracts that you guys need to talk with us about taking any liberties with our, like, especially if it involves official canon story now. You guys need to talk with us about this.
That's
So-
cool. I'm excited for it. I know it might be bad, but I think it won't be. I don't think it'll be a stinker.
What's up?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's gonna be fun. Anyway, we should move on. There are rumors suggesting that Crytek is in a troubled state. is phrasing from the headline. And that's just awful things. I don't really want to talk about it too much, but just canceling projects, people are having to not getting paid. It's scary stuff. Anyway, rumors suggest Rise 2 canceled, which is pretty crazy to me. I thought Rise 2 was kind of a sure thing. And basically, this story makes me scared of, I understand why launch titles aren't exclusives if, Rise can't do it. You know what I mean? It makes me scared for the future of ever just doing, okay, next gen only, exclusive to this one platform, you got it. And then it's just it
well,
does this well.
there's more to this story than just Rise. They have been on a buying spree. They've had the guys... working on Homefront, who used to be Free Radical and did Time Splitters and once
They've had them for a long time.
Yeah, they've had them for a long time without really doing much other than, I think, Crisis multiplayer stuff. And then, they bought the Vigil guys, the Darksiders guys, when THQ went under. So they've been doing a lot of investment, and I'm still skeptical on, the authenticity of these rumors. Crytek is denying them officially, but it does feel sort of like maybe they bought off more than they could chew from a financial perspective.
We talked about this a little bit, about how Crytek has promised, hey, all future games going forward are going to be free to play.
Right.
All of them. And some of them look okay. Well, The Hunt looks okay.
Yeah, The Hunt I'm very excited for. Obviously The Hunt on its own is not going to save them. But yeah, that could have been writing on the wall, them saying that we're gonna see how much money you're going to give us based on these games we're making and test that model. And see
but
if
wait,
that,
Homefront's not free to play, is it?
Right, it's not. So basically, their current projects will come out. The ones that have already been announced.
Okay.
But then after that, nope. It's not, is their future plan. And my question basically, Brandon, is do you think that's a desperation move? Like this is the only way we can survive now? Or do you think that's just everyone's going free to play, we should do that? That's their watching the trends of video games and we got to do that?
Both. They clearly don't have a better idea. We're not hearing some other huge announcement from them other than these smaller games. But there's nothing wrong with that. I think one of the things that the free to play audience is looking for is games that don't look like crap. It's this game's fun, but it's free to play, and so there's only so much money they put into it, the initial investment, and to actually have something like The Hunt, where I'm I would not play The Hunt if it didn't look good. I love that time period. I love the genre. I love
atmosphere.
4-player co-op Red Dead with monsters. I'm down. But yeah, if that was just kind of looked ho-hum, from a graphics perspective, especially if it was horror dark, and they really want to play up the lighting and everything, I think you can only succeed with a company like that's been known. Arena of Fate, not so sure.
Yeah.
I don't, just from the people I know that play a lot of MOBAs aren't really excited about that, so.
How do you get excited for a new MOBA, basically?
I don't. I wouldn't
Right.
know. I don't play MOBA, so yeah, I had to. How does one do that?
And so it is interesting to see them try other types. You hear free to play, you think of one of 3 play styles. You know what I mean? You think of a MOBA. So it is interesting for them to do the hunts and try something different. It's what's that mode in Resident Evil? Mercenary.
Yeah.
It's that. The Hunt is Mercenaries, big time. And just a free to play Mercenaries is pretty crazy. Damiani, do you play any free to play games?
No.
What would it take to
Trying
get
to
you?
think.
Would you play the Hunt?
Probably not. Maybe if 14 goes free to play, that will count.
Wouldn't that ruin 14 though? Wouldn't it ruin that world if it went free to play?
They don't change anything about it.
That's not possible.
They're already selling. Was it the superficial? These potions let you transform your character, the appearance. They're going to start selling them in batches now, and for a set amount. And they sell extra retainer space, so they classify them as services right now rather than any kind of in-game stuff.
Right. Buy a new character.
Even
on a
when you use that
server.
potion, you have to log out of the game. You have to go back to the character creation thing. So it's not really directly in the game. The best you get is rewards for subscriptions. They don't do anything like that. I don't think the game's gonna go free to play, but I do. I'm kind of with Brandon. I'll admit I feel there's a little bit of a stigma from my perspective attached when you tell me something is free to play. I feel I'm gonna get a lot of gratification immediately. But the longer I play it, I'm going to start to see, where they cut corners here and there. And I'm going to eventually, if I'm not paying for this, I'm not getting much out of this anymore. So I had my fun playing it for a few hours. I just don't feel for me, they're long-term investments for my time. And I don't want to spend... I get frustrated when I see all these different options. It's where's this, the $50 option to just play it?
Yeah.
And not all of them do it. Some
you,
do that. Some are okay, we recognize if you want to play $50, get everything that you want. There's other extra like superficial stuff that you won't get unless you pay more. I also acknowledge that there are other free-to-play games that don't do that at all. Like if I don't acknowledge like games like Dota or League of Legends, it's like, hey, those games are totally like free to play, and people would argue that those are like have a lot of like replayability and play those for forever. But I think there's other components of those types of to MOBAs that make them more appealing.
It's a
than other
competitive
types
game.
of
Right.
It's a competitive angle of that. It's the social aspect of it. It's how easy it is to get into it and play with your friends versus like there's like a very high skill ceiling for people who want to go further. That's where you progress, and you don't have to pay a cent for any of that. It's all superficial crap that you pay for that doesn't actually change the gameplay experience. So it is like very free to play in that sense. I get more worried when the games are what was that one that I'm gonna forget it now. There was a free to play like Phantasy Star style like MMO thing that we played, like a South Korean one that we got in the office. We tried it out, and I was like, man, the combat looks amazing in this game. And like we played like this level where we fought like a spider on like a building. I'm gonna be really mad that I don't remember the
Is it
name of this game.
Wildstar or no?
No, it's older.
The
What are
worst
you
job
thinking?
explaining this game.
Kara?
No, it's older.
I'm just throwing out random.
I can't remember.
games
It,
now.
like,
But I like that spider on a building is even
No,
spider on a
specific. It's
building.
no,
like
it's just a
I
giant
don't know.
spider came down and like you fought as a group and it was like real time. Like
Okay.
each button did an action. There were
Yeah.
no like cooldowns and stuff like that. It was like real time combat, like combo based.
No, I know.
And I was like, this is awesome. Like I've been waiting for this. But then I started to see like the bottlenecks. I was like, oh, there's like really like 3 maps that you go to and you fight different bosses within those same 3 maps. There's a really tiny hub town where you just buy stuff and you're gonna be grinding forever in those maps, finding the same mobs and bosses. It's like, oh man, like that sucks. It's not like WoW. I was expecting like a WoW scaled game with this type of combat. I was like, whoa, this is gonna be awesome. And you saw what it was. Like, yeah, I guess it's free to play. That's all they can really do with it. They can't make a WoW.
I definitely think the word free to play has a stigma, and I think maybe they should stop using the term, because to say we're only doing free to play games almost looks like, hey, we're not making good games anymore. And so I think like if they stop using that term, Blood, what do you think? Do you think there's like just a way to make free to play sound more positive?
It's hard to say because I mean I've come across the same thing at E3. Like people like they say it's free to play and then they get like all their defensive walls up and all of
Yeah. But is what
but
you
not
hear
evil.
immediately
It's not
outright.
evil.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. You're right.
We're not pay to win. I don't know. I think the only real way to do it is, just like any other, smaller game is, you get a fan base, like he was saying, nobody cares that League of Legends is free to play. They just like League of Legends. And that's what you have to do, is you have to have a game that's worth playing
Yeah.
to begin with.
Oh, it's scary. Scary. Good luck, Crytek, in your future. I think they can. I think the Hunt might work. I don't think their MOBA's going to work.
And these are just rumors, right? They haven't.
Yeah, they have
said
officially
anything.
denied them, but there's a lot of rumors.
The thing that they've promised to do free to play going forward, though, that's not a rumor. That's
Right.
just like an official statement from Crytek. Like, forget these single player games where somebody sits alone by himself and oh my gosh.
So much for them getting on Morpheus.
And then finally, real quick, we'll go through this. The official Mercedes Mario Kart 8 DLC is coming to North America and Europe. It is upon us. It is a real thing. Mario can be driving a little Mercedes car. In real life, that's a real thing that can happen.
It's kind of like how I felt when I saw McDonald's at Disneyland for the first time. Just like, well, all right.
It's like there
There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to spend the rest of my life being upset.
Honestly,
Whatever.
yeah, that's kind of. So this actually already happened in Mario Golf on the 3DS. There was like a Callaway tournament, and you just join this tournament for free. You play through the Callaway tournament, and it gives you Callaway clothes. You can't even choose not to wear them. It puts you all in this logo of Callaway, and you have a Callaway driver. And then at the end of the tournament, your prize is you get to keep that driver, and it's better than your other drivers. So right now in Mario Golf for 3DS, my little me who's wearing, a Boo shirt also has a Callaway driver from the real world in this game, in this video game. Do we think this will continue?
In those types of games, yeah.
So what do you mean by those types of games?
Mario sports, basically.
So Blood, why I ask that is I'm really afraid it'll seep out of Mario sports types games. Like, what's to keep it from Mario Party? You know what I mean? And then once you're in Mario Party,
Mario Party, I think possibly, but like, what would you put in Mario Party?
Soda?
Like Party City?
Yeah,
Soda.
Party City
Yeah.
and like Michael's for crafts to make the all this stuff, and
22
then, like,
Jump Street.
pizza. You got a Papa John's deliver pizza to Mario,
Yeah.
and you like instead of getting stars, you have to collect the pizzas.
So like these things are funny jokes right now, but if like 3 years ago you said, "Oh, Mercedes car in Mario Kart," I'd be like, "Haha, okay."
Yeah, no, it feels
Good
extremely
satire.
out of place. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't. Like, a part of me can't believe it. Part of me is just like, well, Nintendo needs money, so here you go. Yeah, there's a little extra source of revenue for you. It's free. It's just that Mercedes wants us to see their car inside of Mario Kart.
Makes no sense as Mercedes as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, this will help our
Like,
brand.
Like,
Yeah, it's-
even for a brand of car, like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to like stereotype car types, but I would think like that caters to more higher.
Well, no, I mean
clientele.
Mercedes has an F1 team and all that, but yeah, they have the like F1 style car in Mario Kart. Why not have
Yeah.
like
That-
yeah,
at
like
least that
a
type.
version of that? You know,
Sure.
Rather
this year's
than-
F1 car.
But isn't that a problem with racing games with destruction? That a lot of car companies are like, no, we don't want you to destroy a Porsche, so like we won't allow you to do that. Like, are blue shells okay?
Yeah, there's definitely
No. Blue. I don't know.
Impervious to blue
Explain to me
shells.
this blue shell again. How does I don't know?
Like,
will
look
you
at
be
this-
will you be
Ballin'.
able to blue shell our Mercedes Benz?
Look at this
at that.
image. Look how proud Mario is of
like
his dumb little.
Chad
Oh, I got a
Bag.
Mercedes. Look at like Mario. What are you thinking, dude? I'm getting riled up. I'm on it. We got to move on.
Mario.
This really affects. I think DLC.
Well, their logo looks like the Wii wheel, so.
Oh my
makes
gosh,
sense.
it's gonna keep going. I honestly think like
Mercedes-Benz logo Wii
Yeah,
wheel.
she looks really nervous. I don't know what I'm doing
Someone should
here.
Photoshop the death stare. The death
His
stare. He's
eyebrows,
looking
he's
at
kind
the
of pissed.
Luigi looks at the
He's got his
car.
Luigi face on.
Yeah.
He does. He's like,
You know there's going to be videos
done?
made with that, and they're going to use ballin' and stuff.
take a
yeah.
photo.
Oh my
man.
gosh, they're just asking for it. Okay, so that's all the news we have time to cover this week. Our bet, this closing bet this week. Shovel Knight comes out this week. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play that probably a lot over the weekend. This is the first game ever from Yacht Club Games. Currently, they have 5,770 followers on Twitter. How many followers will they have at this point next week, a week after the game has been released? Blood, go first. You're being very thoughtful.
7,500.
Okay?
6,500.
10K.
Add 1,000 to whatever their number is.
That's what I did, I think.
No,
Yeah.
You said it's 5,700, right?
So
5770.
So 6,
6,
7,
7,
whatever it is.
770.
Yes.
Okay, so you're nullifying Brandon.
I feel like they got the majority of their followers during the Kickstarter phase.
Yeah, I want to believe that there's going to be a ton of people playing that game and then saying, whoa, who's Yacht Club Games? And then that's why I went high on that. Not going to happen?
Nope.
All right. So then, let's lock those in.
Locked in?
Okay, they're locked
Yeah,
in.
because I noticed they got about 200 followers since you sent that email.
Oh, boy. Cool. So that was an inaccurate thing. That's what, okay. Clever Blood. All right, so, yeah, it was actually 5770 as of 10 a.m. this morning, basically. So they're gaining them. They're coming. Anyway, so last week's bet. This was the fun one. It's because Valiant Hearts came out this week. And I was looking at the top 10 most recent reviews on Game Rankings. How many times the word cry was mentioned in any form? The answer, 3. There were 3 cries, one from PC Gamer, one from VentureBeat, and one from our new escapist buddy, Jim Sterling.
Nice.
Is he a
Shaking your head. Yeah, no, and basically most of them were referencing just like, they're not saying, "Oh, I cried." You know what I mean? It's like, it's sort of the expectation of the game. Anyway, I guessed 3. That was my bet last week. I finally won one. That's 1 point for Team Bossman. And so the video that I would like everyone to watch is our betting special.
Yeah.
Me and Huber had some E3 bets leading into E3. Didn't settle them until just earlier this week because of obvious things. But it turned into a really fun special, I think. It's really long. It's like 22 minutes long, which is the length of a TV show. But I think it works. I think it's entertaining throughout, and I'm happy with how that turned out. So please check that out. And maybe we'll put a link in the comments, or not the comments, the description of this video. And that is going to do it for this very short episode, very abbreviated episode of GT Time. Hopefully we will be back next week. I hope so. I hope that'll happen. Because basically I should describe, we don't know when we're moving still. We're in this weird
Or
limbo.
where.
Or which building we're moving to even. So we'll try to communicate with you as much as possible. But so far, we don't know. We don't
I'm
know
pretty sure we'll be back next week, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, back here next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely that will happen. It'll be a little complicated because of 4th of July, but we'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so hopefully we'll see you next week on the 4th of July. If not, we're still around. We'll let you know what's going on.
Don't go anywhere.
Thanks for watching this. Here are our Twitter names. Go ahead and follow anyone you like.
We can add sound effects in post. You don't have to do them yourself.
Ian would not want to do any of those sound effects. Just like, okay. But, I should mention this also. So we can't use Getty Images anymore because we're now officially Defy. So I made the cover art for this week's episode.
Nice.
But I want people to submit them every week. So going forward, if you want to do the image for this week's episode, please submit it to @KyleBossman. And just the image. You don't need to do anything beyond that. And it's got to be like longer than it is taller. But I want to make that a thing. So like if you want just incorporate the GT Time logo. That's the only really requirement. It's just got to do that really slick logo.
You're gonna put a clean logo on your Twitter feed.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I will put a clean logo on my Twitter feed. And then if you want to do that, please submit that. And then we'll have cool art.
Good idea, Kyle. I hope someone actually sends you something.
I know, me too.
Then it's not a good idea.
That's I didn't want to do it because I'm always still self-conscious from high school about asking anyone to help me with anything. That's still a part of my psychosis, if that's a word. That's not a word. But anyway, I'm still nervous to even ask for that. Please do if you're interested in giving us some cover art. And I'll call it cover art. That's not really what it's called. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you for watching. We will be back next week. I really appreciate you watching. Bye, everybody.
I love the Xbox. I love the Xbox. I love the Xbox. I love the